What secrets did the fog shroud in the alleyways of Whitechapel? Who was the monster that stalked the streets, leaving a string of terrified victims in his wake? As night descends, the answers may be even darker than you could ever imagine. Welcome to the Jack the Ripper Terror Walking Tour, where the streets breathe with the chilling whispers of history's most infamous serial killer. This spine-tingling experience delves deep into the carnage of 1888, guided by expert historians who weave together harrowing narratives of the women who met unspeakable fates and the elusive killer who slipped through the fingers of the police. Distinct from other tours, it combines authentic historical detail with the immersive atmosphere, transporting thrill-seekers back to a Victorian nightmare. The shocking reality of the 5 canonical murders, each more gruesome than the last, haunts the very ground you walk upon. Are you brave enough to confront the darkness lurking within human nature? If you dare, stay tuned for ghastly revelations. This tour promises chills that will grip your heart and stories so shocking they will echo in your mind long after the shadows have receded. Your journey into the abyss awaits. Dare to join? Step into the haunting echoes of Victorian London at Aldgate East Station, the gateway to a chilling exploration of one of history's most notorious crime mysteries. What drove fear through the cobbled streets of London's East End? As you gather at Aldgate East Station, our expert ripperologist invites you to explore the multifaceted narrative that embeds itself in the grim realities of 1880s London. With poverty gripping the streets and rampant crime casting shadows over the lives of its inhabitants, the foundation for one of history's most chilling murder mysteries is laid. The East End, a melting pot of desperation and despair, served as both backdrop and unwitting player in the drama of the Whitechapel murders. During your journey, the tales of fear and fascination emerge, the pressures of overcrowding, the vices that thrived in alleys, and the enigmatic figure of Jack the Ripper himself. As your guide illuminates the significance of these events, you'll see how they resonate today, enriching the landscape of dark tourism and deepening our understanding of societal challenges that persist. With history as your compass, prepare for your next stop, a twist in the tale that will deepen your intrigue into the lives forever altered by these shocking crimes. Step into a world steeped in mystery and tragedy, the haunting streets of Whitechapel. As you traverse the narrow passageways of Whitechapel, the significance of this area becomes palpable. These aren't just streets. They are the very backdrop to the harrowing legacy of Jack the Ripper. By examining the precise locales of his notorious 5 victims, Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, travelers can immerse themselves in the gritty reality of 1888. Imagine standing at Durward Street, where Polly Nichols's lifeless form was first discovered, or catching your breath at Hanbury Street, with its stark silence echoing Annie Chapman's final moments. These haunting spots don't just recount a story, they invite contemplation about the human psyche and the societal factors that bred such monstrous behavior. But why did the Ripper elude capture? And how did his crimes impact the policing methods of today? As you walk the dimly lit streets of Whitechapel, you can almost hear the whispers of the past. The next segment of this evocative journey will delve deeper into the psychological intrigue of Jack the Ripper and the contemporary fascination that continues to ensnare minds around the globe. Step back into the fog-laden streets of Victorian London, where an elusive villain, known only as Jack the Ripper, unleashed terror upon the city's poorest denizens. What drove this enigmatic figure to target vulnerable women? How did their gruesome fate intertwine with the very fabric of the era? Each murder was not merely an act of brutality, it was a reflection of an underbelly society grappling with poverty, gender inequality, and the inefficacy of contemporary law enforcement. As you traverse the very streets where these horrific acts occurred, you gain insight into a world grappling with its moral compass and the impact of media sensationalism. Through period-accurate illustrations and vivid narratives drawn from police files and eyewitness accounts, visitors encounter a gripping timeline of terror. As the guide reveals the specific methods used by the Ripper, along with the frantic chase led by Scotland Yard, guests experience a chilling connection to the past. But what truly fueled the pandemonium in these weeks of violence? What did the citizens of Whitechapel endure as the city held its breath? As the tour draws to a close, one burning question remains. Who was Jack the Ripper? And why has his identity eluded capture for over a century? What if the killer who haunted London's cobbled streets over a century ago was closer to home than anyone imagined? As you navigate through the shadowy alleys of Whitechapel, you'll be spellbound by the myriad of suspects that have emerged in the case of Jack the Ripper. Were the clues hidden in the secrets of a surgeon's past, or perhaps buried within the aristocracy, with each theory unraveling like a dark tapestry? Exploring the suspects and theories surrounding Jack the Ripper captivates the imagination. The ambiguity of the killer's identity turns every step of the tour into a thrilling detective experience. Participants are invited not just to listen, but to engage, weighing the evidence presented and forming their own conclusions. The exploration of various suspects, including potential connections to members of the upper class and international sailors, adds layers of intrigue. Could the answer to Jack the Ripper's identity be hidden in plain sight, or will the truth forever elude us, wrapped in layers of social prejudice and fear? Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the gripping legacy of Jack the Ripper, where each clue brings us one step closer to shining a light on this historical enigma. What shocking revelations await just around the corner? Step into the shadowy embrace of the Ten Bells Pub, an 18th century establishment steeped in chilling lore surrounding Jack the Ripper and his tragic victims. What secrets linger within its time-worn walls? What stories have the flickering candlelight borne witness to over centuries? The Ten Bells is no ordinary pub. It's a hauntingly fascinating junction of true crime history and the intrigue of dark tourism. This pub has long been associated with several of Jack the Ripper's known victims, including Mary Jane Kelly and Annie Chapman. Historical accounts suggest their final moments might have been spent in the company of laughter and pints, obliviously wandering between the terror that lurked in the London streets. Visiting the Ten Bells goes beyond merely sipping a pint. It provides an intimate glimpse into the social environment of Victorian London. As you explore, you can hear how the pub's atmosphere seems to reverberate with ghostly tales, echoing the spirits of its past patrons. Some claim to have experienced cold drafts and unexplained happenings, as if the souls of those lost are keeping watch. The allure of the pub enhances the travel experience, as it taps into the deepest human emotions: curiosity for the macabre, nostalgia for history, and the quest for understanding the inexplicable. Surrounded by the ambience of aged wood and whispering spirits, you will find yourself enthralled, contemplating life, death, and everything in between. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the mysterious shadows that still haunt the streets of Whitechapel, uncovering more enigmas and secrets that linger in London's dark history. What will we discover in our next exploration? The truth may be scarier than fiction. The Jack the Ripper Terror Walking Tour delves into one of history's most infamous unsolved mysteries, shedding light on the grim reality of Victorian London. In 1888, a series of brutal murders in the Whitechapel district sent shockwaves throughout the city, reflecting the social unrest and stark class disparities of the time. By exploring these dark streets, participants gain a deeper understanding of the historical context surrounding the crimes, from the plight of the city's impoverished inhabitants to the sensationalism of the press that fueled public fear. Engaging in such immersive experiences allows travelers to appreciate how events from the past shape contemporary society and inform our understanding of human behavior. This topic is vital for travelers seeking to broaden their global perspective and recognize the intricate tapestry of history that influences modern culture. Curious about the untold stories and hidden truths lurking in the shadows of other destinations? Join us as we delve into more intriguing narratives in our Top Travel Destinations series, where every video promises to unveil fascinating insights and stimulate your wanderlust.